newsflash for you. The oldest and most quintessentially human of occupations is going to the robots. Now, some of you might be thinking, what? Robotic prostitutes? But no, as kinky as it is, I'm talking about farming. Now, the Japanese Dream Project focuses on innovative ways to reclaim land ravaged by the tsunami that struck Japan in March of last year. On the Dream Project's 6-year distant experimental farm, a sea of special LEDs will take the place of pesticides. In the day, rather than farmers wading knee-deep through rice paddies, a cohort of robots will trundle across the terrain. From seed to fruit, robots will prepare, plant, tend, and harvest land that no human would want to work. The robots will even infuse it with little themselves as they cycle their own carbon emissions back into the earth to offset the needs for fertilizer. Now, when I first heard about this as a CS major and tech enthusiast, I thought it was way cool. Without a doubt, the Dream Project is the future. It's the inevitable next step in a journey launched when a human first used a stick to dig a hole in the ground. That same journey which was hurried along when people first harnessed a plow to a mule, and that journey which was given wings when the first tractor rumbled to life with the invention of the steam engine. But just as I couldn't help but be excited by this transformation of farming into a profession ruled by the mechanized, I also couldn't help but wonder what's going to happen to all the people who work on farms. And that's an important question, because of all the 7 billion people on the planet, 1 in 3, or 2.3 billion people, work in agriculture. And the thing is, it's not just farming that's being transformed by advancing technology. But breakthroughs in computing, communications, robotics, medicine, and more are reshaping industries daily. And these new technologies are often built to do things humans once did. So what is happening to all these jobs that technology is displacing? As the New York Times put it, modernization has always caused some kinds of jobs to change or disappear. Farmers became steelworkers and then salesmen and middle managers. Indeed, these shifts have carried many economic benefits, and in general, with each progression, even unskilled workers receive better wages and greater chances of upward mobility. However, that trend of ever better wages and increasing mobility is in danger. This graph shows real hourly wages for the bottom 10th, middle, and top 95th percentile workers since 1973. As you can see, wages for the bottom and middle workers have stagnated, while only the most wealthiest have seen a real increase in compensation. So today I'm going to show you how advancing technology is reaching the point where mid-level jobs are going to be lost faster than they're created. This leaves us in danger of increasing disparity in both wealth and opportunity, as well as being faced with the prospect of long-term high rates of unemployment. So one could say that mid-level jobs form the backbone of opportunity for American workers. 73% of all Americans above age 25 lack a bachelor's degree, meaning that for these people without an advanced education, mid-level jobs are the best chance they have at getting ahead and making a decent wage. As Harvard Business School professors Pisano and Shi recently emphasized about manufacturing, that classic mid-level job, supporting it is the only way the country can hope to maintain, let alone raise, its citizen standard of living. So let's take a quick look at manufacturing today. On one hand, we have its roots. This is a symbol of American industrial ingenuity. It's Henry Ford's Model T assembly plant. It's an image I'm sure most of you are quite familiar with. There's plenty of hustle and bustle. And this, on the other hand, is a video taken of Toyota's assembly plant for hybrid Camrys in Melbourne, Australia. It's also a showcase of innovation. But where are the people? Let's look at some jobs that actually still exist. Standard Motor Products is an American manufacturer of fuel injectors. Maddie is a level 1 worker at Standard, the lowest paid, least skilled position. She operates a laser welding machine, which essentially runs itself. To train a new worker, Maddie spends about 2 minutes showing her the machine and 25 minutes showing her the manual. And by the end of the day, that worker will be just as good at operating the laser welding machine as Maddie is. She makes about $13 an hour, and the only reason, according to her boss, who's rather frank, the only reason she still has a job is that she makes less in 2 years than a robot to do the same job would cost. And a 2-year return on investment, as is fairly typical for industry, is the threshold at which Standard feels comfortable investing in new machinery. The next step up at the factory is a level 2 worker. And Luke is a level 2 worker. Before he could get his position at Standard, he spent 2 years studying machine tool technology at community college. And then he had to get 5 years of on-the-job machining experience. Now he uses his programming knowledge to make micron-level adjustments on $500,000 machines. As Maddie puts it, what worries people in factories is electronics, robots. If you don't know jack about computers and electronics, then you don't have anything in this life anymore. People like me, we're not going to be around forever. And indeed, just in the 10 years ending in 2009, US factories shed workers so fast, they erased almost all the gains of the previous 70 years, That's roughly 1 out of every 3 manufacturing jobs, or about 6 million total. This situation as standard motor products brings home the most important connection between the loss of mid-level jobs and the increasing disparity in wealth and opportunity. Over the past century, the labor force has shifted to being dominated by farmers to professional, technical, and service workers. The reason the 20th century saw such an increase in wealth and quality of life was that people were pushed out of these old professions into ones that required more and more education. But this is also where the danger lies. Each innovation cycle cuts out a middle rung in a developed job market. Workers must reach higher or drop lower to hang on, yet eventually it's going to be too far for them to reach. Economists term it skill-biased technological change. Now, some people say that the solution is obviously that we need to improve our education system to skill people up for jobs in the new marketplace. I agree that education is certainly crucial to create opportunity for people, but I think the majority are grossly underestimating exactly how far and fast technology is advancing. Software company Blackstone Discovery has brought the cost of legal analysis of documents down 500% since just 30 years ago. Narrative science founder Chris Hammond expects a computer program to win the Pulitzer Prize within 5 years, hopefully his own program. And medical databases have the potential to greatly reduce the needs for visits to the doctor's office. To quote Carnegie Mellon robotics researcher Hans Moravec, advancing computer performance is like water slowly flooding the landscape. A half century ago, it began to drown out the lowlands, driving out human calculators and record clerks, but leaving most of us dry. Now the flood has reached the foothills, and our outposts there are contemplating retreat. We still feel safe on our peaks, but at the present rate, those too will be submerged within another half century. Alas, what shall we humans do in the face of our own technological genius? Well, let me present to you my idea of what the increasing pace of skill-biased technological change means for our future, and how we can yet ensure a good quality of life for everyone. It may sound fantastical, but keep in mind that technology has still yet to hit its stride, and it's only going to get weirder from here. I believe that technological advances will continue to lead to a higher quality of service, that unemployment will be countered by people taking up more fulfilling occupations, and that crucial to this is a technology-enabled baseline standard of living. The first point is rather self-evident. Even in 1987, celebrated AI researcher Margaret Bowden noted chastening observations about how peptic ulcer patients that interacted with a computer rated it as more friendly, polite, relaxing, and comprehensible than the average physician. Across the board, technology is enabling higher quality products at cheaper prices, more accurate and efficient access to information, better healthcare, and giving us new opportunities that we might not have even imagined a couple years ago. More exciting, though, I think, is the second point, that people will be shunted out of traditional areas of employment to more fulfilling occupations. A study of over 90,000 workers worldwide found that only 21% considered themselves fully invested in the work they did. A full 38%, however, were disenchanted or disengaged. Most people today consider a good job and working hard at the job crucial to their self-esteem and crucial to a successful life. But this is, I think, an actually detrimental way of thinking. Stuff still needs to be produced, but what if people? But technology can do the drudge work with us. People should instead focus on what they love, which I think can lead to an actual explosion in culture and societal well-being. Technology can enable and embrace the kind of amateur society that Larry Lessig talked about in his talk. One where it's not amateur in the sense of amateurish, but rather where people do what they do and create for the love of it and not for the money. So I call this the post-employment world. However, the question begs to be asked, why is it that jobs are so important when people dislike them so much? Well, obviously people need to eat, they need shelter, they want to buy things, which brings me to my third point. What technology enables us to do is it enables us to produce more for less labor. As technology replaces people in the workforce, we need to ensure people a baseline standard of living in utilizing the free labor of technology. I'm not advocating communism or destruction of capitalism, but rather a fundamental life and level of life and opportunity be considered a basic human right. Not only is this a moral imperative, but this technology-enabled guarantee of quality of life is essential to letting people explore their passions in this post-employment world. The truth is, robotic farms like those envisioned by the Japanese Dream Project are just the beginning. With some predicting robots with human-level processing power by 2050 or even 2030, we cannot afford to ignore the massive impact technology is having and will have. While now its primary effect may be increased unemployment and disparity, let us seize the opportunity to escape the trappings of the 9 to 5 and exploit technology to its fullest in bringing about universal human prosperity. Thank you.